Okay, we're back and we are 2 minutes from the start of the Lead Pursuit Podcast Blood Red Skies tournament. A couple change-ups. You might have seen it in the chat there. Brett Cantor is reprising his role as the jerk, aka Mr. Denial List. So we got a few tryhards out here. We got Brett. We'll let him do his thing. We do have our returning top seeds sitting back there at the top table. We've got John Dudowitz and Justin Baumgartner. Their lists are not exactly face punchy lists. They're both firepower 1. We've got guys out there with D520s and then a P40 variant. So yeah, it's low firepower P40Ns. We'll see how it all goes. We've got jets. So Tyler Bean, who's played a couple years, he's back here with 262s this year. And we've got a lot of other aircraft. Brett, of course, with the 109s. We've got other P40s that are out there. We've got KI 84s. And what are the last ones? I'll have to remember. Oh, P47Cs. So yeah, we've got C models of the Thunderbolts out there. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. Some more power planes out there that are going to be a little more dangerous than what we normally see. And we'll see how the Jets do. So for those of you watching, I'm going to go on mute here a little bit and we'll get this game started.
Hold up, okay. Oh, okay. This is simple perfect. Further activation is critical game. You're going to pick up a card. You're going to lay these down, feet, activate. Okay? So you lay these down. Now, guys, I'm activating. All the guys
All right, and everybody is set. Everybody is starting. We've got a couple different things this year. So, first of all, critical dodge. We are going to use that. The players are going to be out there probably with a couple lists that are tailored to that, lists that are tailored to having to have people re-roll their dodges, or lists that are tailored towards people having to use for deflection shooting, reducing the number of dice they get in deflection shooting. We've also got a couple other lists tailored to the fact that we've got jets. So the 262s out there, that's kind of tough to shoehorn them in there, but still with an ace in a 262 list. So pretty good capability to do some damage with those 262 Bravos out there. Watching deployment up on the head table. Once again, they're getting their infinitesimally low firepower airplanes. At least nobody had a firepower 0 out there. But we've got them getting set up with the scenarios. Now, remember, for ours, we have the clouds actually laid out on the table. Players aren't moving the clouds, and those are giving a very specific kind of setup out there. But we have 2 of the mats that are 4x4 and 2 of the mats that are 4x6. So once again, ran into an interesting place this year just with mats and how we're going to get set up, and the fact that we threw in some larger mats just to see if players play on top of each other or play for opposite corners. So we'll see how it goes, and I'm going to go back on mute and walk around and see what there is to see.
On the side, you'll see it's a green at enter. It says green enter. Yes. Green enter. Yeah, airborne is different.
Watching the deployment still taking place on the head table. They're taking their time, and as usual, Justin is pretty cerebral about it. Looks like he's trying to bracket John's fighters that are already out there. See how that works out, splitting up his forces. Watching the rest of the guys choosing their theater cards. Some people take a while to get a precise setup for that. Some of them have already started playing. Looks like Brett and his guys have already started determining their advantage, and we'll see how that all plays out. 262s are deploying along with the what are we fighting? P40s. 262s, P40s. So jets versus an early generation prop aircraft. We'll see how that fight goes.
I got a superior armament, and it's
People choosing superior armament. Not a surprise. We figured that one was going to be happening. Brett's list, as usual, is a denial list, but with a few minor tweaks. Low altitude performance, so using great climb to pair with that one, and that way he can. Oh, sorry, that's a great dive pairing. Keep getting that one wrong. Yeah, great dive or rapid roll. So he uses that with his great dive, allows him to pop back up at the instead of losing his level of advantage. Yep, allows you to pop back up at the beginning of your activation. So let's look at some of the other lists that are out there. Tyler in his 262s, opening shot, allowing him that 12-inch range shot at the beginning of his engagement. A skill of set them up. And he chose poor visibility and battle fatigue for his theater cards. Right over to the Battle of Britain table, James obviously has his Spit 5Bs out there, and it's 5 airplane list, I think. How many? I've totally lost track. 6 airplane list, and so it's pretty generic, aggressive, no surprise there, and defensive tactics. So a little bit of a mix there. Going back to the head table to see how they're doing. They are starting the first moves. It looks like John is getting bracketed. There's 2 advantaged airplanes you see there of Justin's. Seeing what he's doing here. All right. Justin's using the lead pursuit branded templates there, moving in off the edge of the board and driving in. All right, looks like he's going to be trying to move in and take some early shots, hopefully tailing. Let's see, is he in range? So close, so close. Precise positioning. Oh, and he's already tailed the first one, so John's got an airplane being tailed. We'll see how quickly this Firepower 1 works out for him. Brett and Mark have already started moving theirs, powering through. Looks like the Japanese are coming out fairly strong. 1 disadvantaged airplane there. This is going to be interesting. Several new players in the tournament format, and we'll see how it goes with the scenario. A couple things we're already seeing people get wrong. We're seeing them do starting advantage by aircraft, not by element. That's what the scenario says, is do it by element. Cards are generated by no crypto dives will chaos here. Just take those. Critical dodge has already come into play, apparently. So looks like Justin would have awarded a boom chit to John's Deer Team D520s, but he critically dodged and got rid of that boom chit. But he is disadvantaged, and he's in not a good place.
All right. Yes. It's different for each fan. So you're starting out. Oh, okay. Then I won't monitor chat.
Okay, apparently I've been entrusted the walk around cam. This is going to be humorous. We'll see. Steve's going to make sure it's running. Oh my God, what could possibly go wrong with Doug having a camera to walk around the event? This could only go downhill. It's on. Okay, so we're going to take a quick walk just to show the other tables. So there's our 262 table. Oh, the 262 is looking good. See how that change does this year. There's his setup. All right. Battle of Britain table. So we've got our Dover mat. We got Spitfires defending. Got P-47s on the other side. So defensive tactics is what he's got on his Spitfire 5s. And then obviously you can see the main table back over here.
I just started throwing right over there. We're staying. You know what? I'm gonna stay. Yeah. Okay. And if you go off the mat, the whole unit is going. But if this one, if you're off the mat, so that's the weather. Oh, yes, yes. Yes, gentlemen, one other thing. There are cards on here. Look at this one. It says 12-2. So we're moving. It also says 2. That means you can move there. Yeah. See your faces? I've got to wait.
We had an outmaneuver there from John.
All right, so let's start out. What's the weather? Oh! Every time.
Just let me know when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're trying some new things with that floor cam as we're walking around. So if anyone has questions, wants to see one of the tables, please drop that in the chat. And at that point, we'll take the camera over, take a look at the table, take a look at the lists, take a look at what's going on. And we'll try to feature some of those lists as players roam around. Once again, because I have a long cord, but not a wireless camera, so I'm kind of tethered over near the streaming booth. But hey, great setup this year again from Steve. So Steve gets serious kudos for this. We've got our overhead lights. If you haven't seen the photos, it's a great setup for how the whole streaming booth is going. It's actually a pretty good group of guys that showed up. We were pretty happy getting a good turnout. Only had one player that dropped, and so we had a last minute fill in from Brett. But that's fine. We can do that. Of course, you can in the feed. We'll show Steve hard at work later on. All right, roaming the other tables, going back to table one, taking a look at the P40s against the 262s just now joining the battle. And the P40s, once again, defensive tactics and tough for their ace skills. For Brett and his group of 109s, just now it looks like getting in a position to start either maneuvering to shoot or outmaneuvering. And then down to the P47s and the Spitfires. They're just now getting to joining into the combat. So the round started at 10:30. The round will run until 11:45. So we got about an hour remaining of time until the end of the round. Everyone seems to be managing their time fairly well. We've got the head table already well in combat. Looks like there's a little bit of shooting going on, and there was an outmaneuver, I do believe it looked like. So it looked like his two might have, John's two might have moved in there to outmaneuver the three because there was a roll going on. Another outmaneuver attempt, it looks like. All right, so there's another one just outmaneuvered Justin's ace. So you see that ace right there at the beginning getting outmaneuvered. Always a crap roll of the dice. I tell people a lot of times, don't be afraid of trying to outmaneuver a pilot, much higher pilot skill than you. Invariably, they might be like Steve Toth. They might roll 18 dice and totally fail. So. All right, we've got John's last move, jumping in the cloud, trying to get some advantage back there. That was the airplane that was tailed previously, where that had a shot on it, that then moved in, regained its advantage by moving back in the cloud. And we'll stand here and we'll comment on the head table a little bit. Starting their next turn, they've pulled all the markers. Justin's now got his advantage 4 that's going to be moving. Justin's advantage 4 turning a little bit there, trying to line up just where he can get over, threaten the other two ship. Yep, doing an outmaneuver. Knocked that 3 down. Moving up. 1 hour to go.
have another potential boom shit here, but John is going for the critical dodge again with the deflection shot. And he critical dodged. So once again, those deflection shots proving that that rule change is going to extend this game. So as
All
of
right, so
now,
yeah,
John has dodged
let's talk,
two.
Steve. What did you see with that shot?
Dude, again, the deflection shot. You know, Justin kind of snuck in there for that deflection
So
shot.
is Steve changing his take on critical dodge?
I just said it happened. I didn't say I liked it. Those are two different things.
Steve is the biggest detractor I know of critical dodge. Steve would rather I just get good rather than institute critical dodge. And I say stop being a cheese ball and trying to win the game based on low probability of kill, deflection shots, getting boom chits. All right. So, oh, geez. There goes aggressive. He's already going to drop that 2 down to neutral, and then he's probably going to shoot the other guy in the lips. Yep, he's going to shoot the disadvantaged ace, I think. All right, now they both have snap roll as their doctrine out there. So head to head going down. Let's see here. So nothing and nothing. Thoroughly wasted a roll of the dice. But anyway, back to talking about they've got snap roll. So that's an ability to make the other players use their deflection shots when they're taken. Those are now just like it was going to be a regular aspect. So no using of speed, just using of agility. All right, so Roman back around, back to the head table, back past the 262s. Oh, one of them's already blown through the middle of the engagement. Got 262s in the middle of. Don't ask him. Go back and play. Go back and play. All right, I know I missed something, Steve. What did I just miss?
There was a missed deflection shot.
Missed. Not even defended against. All right,
No.
A lot of missed shots we've had recently. 3 missed shots, it seems like, in this last batch.
Well, we got 2 firepower, 1 aircraft.
That's true.
Here,
We
right?
do. We have 2 firepower, 1 aircraft. So it is kind of, as I've jokingly said, it's Star Wars Kid versus Star Wars Kid, or maybe Star Wars Kid versus Jar Jar Binks. I don't know who's who, but either way, it's going to be 2 firepower, 1 systems against each other. Not exactly a lot of dice being rolled.
Taking that shot. Neutral 2 versus disadvantage 2. I don't. That's a neutral 2. Yeah, Ron neutral 2. Oh, he's neutral. Oh, he's neutral. Oh, he's neutral. See, it is. No, he's not disadvantage. Can't do that. That will go.
Start planning right away. Start planning right away.
He is climbing. Oh, I have a neutral 2 that should have gone first, right? He's neutral. Oh, no, he's got no.
Yeah, okay. A couple small questions that have always come up, and it's always a good one because we have FAQ'd it just to make sure. When you use a bonus card, occasionally the bonus cards paired with doctrines fall in a different phase or step of the turn. If you do that, you don't get at that point. You can't like pull that effect forward. But sometimes they are pretty close in their phasing. So like using sustained dive and great dive. So great dive is the bonus card. Sustained dive allows you to roll your maneuver check and then regain your lost advantage. So those two do phase together. You add your extra inches for great dive using your speed, and then you at that point are going to go ahead and make your move, roll your dice, use the bonus card so you keep sustained dive, and if you pass that maneuver check. All right, I can tell I've been missing something here. There's lots of cheering around the table.
Another
Steve?
critical dodge going the other way this
Yes,
time.
excellent. That is exactly as intended. Critical dodge is making a big difference here. So, once again, trying to make people shoot aircraft down instead of take cheesy boom shit accumulating side shots. Now, you also have to understand how the tournament scoring has changed. Booming the other player out is worth 10 victory points. Each shoot down is also worth a victory point. So it is possible that you would have a game that has no winner because no one is boomed out based upon squadrons departing. But you still have a winner based on victory points if they shoot somebody down. If they just rack up boom shits, those are then accumulated as a alternate VP, and we use those for the overall determination of standings, but not for that actual game. So the game is victory points for shoot downs and 10 points for driving somebody off. It's going to be interesting watching some of these games. Poor 262s, because of their cost, have 2 pilot skill 2s, which means those poor guys are the last ones to activate right now with a bunch of advantaged aircraft entering into the mix. So kind of causes their trail element to hang out a little bit there, but they'll get pulled in here shortly. Looks like boom chits are already starting to go down, though. All right, a little bit of outmaneuver action as well.
And that is the end of turn 3, I believe. So we're clearing boom shits, and we're still looking at 1 boom shit to none. And so far, the notable thing that's happened, as Doug has made note of, is that critical dodge rule. This would be a much different game if that critical dodge rule was not in effect. So we got some shooting coming here from Justin. Critical hit, and John is again looking for the critical dodge, so we'll see what happens here. And that is going to be a boom shit and a lose advantage. So that was a boom shit on a deflection shot without a dodge. So it's like all of those dodges that were going on before sort of caught up with him. So the dice will always keep you honest. That is sort of the consistent, no matter what game system you are playing. The dice giveth, and the dice taketh away. And we'll have to have Doug weigh in on that here in a second when he's back. We're taking another shot. Another deflection shot here. Another critical hit. So we'll see what happens here. It's the same roll as last time. Oh. So he got a boom shit, but he did dodge. And that will swing it a little bit. So we got 2 boom shits to 1 boom shit and a disadvantaged aircraft. That was a good little turn of events there. That was a fun one. Got some very nicely painted planes here. Trying to get in here on these a little closer for you so you could see some of the detail on these things.
Yep. Nothing.
Missed shot there. And we have a little under 45 minutes in round 1.
Of course, we're, didn't even reset these.
No, me neither.
We are going to snap roll this.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Imagine that.
Well, he will take the turn, by the way.
Got another shot coming in here. A little snap roll. So that snap roll trait
All
is
right,
turning
so
deflection shots, or is turning various shots into deflection shots with that little defensive maneuver. We got a hit. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, so for that, that's gotten to be a little tight furball in there.
So while you were gone, Doug, we had a deflection shot that didn't even get dodged. So
See, there you go.
John kind
Take enough of them.
gave them all back for what
And
happened
there's
before.
a critical dodge again. Looks like he chased the guys out of the cloud. Bunch of disadvantaged D520s again. But Steve, I'm surprised there's critical dodges because those are starter set dice you've got there. They should be cursed.
That's an excellent point.
Doing it.
We are doing it.
All right, a 3-dice shot there for a whole lot of nothing. Shooting back. And that is once again the embarrassing Firepower 1 shooting against each other. Pot skill 2 versus pot skill 2. All right, rolling back over. Steve, I'm going to go ahead and let's roll the walk around cam. All right, we're going to take the walk around cam and we're going to see what we can see. All right. .262s and the P40s still out there. The battle's finally joined with their pot of skill 2s rolling in. We've got the Franks and the 109s joined up. Brett's getting in there. And of course, we've got the Spitfire 5s. Looks like the far elements finally got their way back into this game. So surprised they got in there. Looks like one of the Franks is getting tailed. The ace is getting tailed. Bookkeeping always essential. That's why we use those marks. Oh no, looks like the Jets getting tailed and disadvantaged. Shocking, another critical dodge out here. Find that so hard to believe. Hey, and you can see hard-working Steve back here. Yeah, booth cam sneaking up on Steve. All right, Steve, we can rotate it back to the main table. Having too much fun with this. Put this away, get that locked off. We'll see what else is going on at the head table.
We had our first shoot down there. So that makes it now 3 boom chits. And what pilot skill did we lose out there? Lost a pilot skill 2. So that's going to swing this game a little bit back towards John. And
All
so
right,
let
coming
Doug
back
weigh in on
in,
that. We had our first shoot down over here. Swinging the
right.
game back to John. So we're now looking at 3 boom chits to 2, with Justin also down an aircraft.
Yeah, looking at that. So one of them is out. So we'll see now. That's 1 victory point. That could be enough to declare it. I know that will be frustrating for players, especially if they don't boom anyone out. But right now, 3 boom chits over on the P40N1s with Justin, and 2 boom chits on our mighty Diwatine D520s that are actually Bulgarian. So they're not even French. They're Bulgarian ones. John Dudowitz, as usual, coming up with something unique that nobody was expecting. All right, looks like a shot, single hit. We'll see how the let's see, critical dodge can pull it off for him.
Shot down. And we critical dodge.
Critical dodge.
I think that's 7 or 8.
But it's just enough. 2 successes, and critical dodge once again throws the boom chit away. Yeah, this is going to be a strategic take on this optional rule. You can tell there's going to be some complaining. There's going to be a little bit of churn. That's all right. At least it makes for a different game, and we got plenty of time, so we can make it for a longer game. All right, it's 11:10 our time, so another 5 minutes. We'll be down to the last half hour of the game. Steve, any questions from the interwebs out there? I hadn't seen anything. All right. Apparently everybody out there is a Blood Red Skies ace and knows how to play the game, and no questions. That's a good thing. Either that or it's 3 other bots and myself that are in there. Uh-oh, got a question.
So we had another hit there. And this was a critical hit, so we've got another deflection shot. We're looking for a critical dodge.
All right, first
again.
results. 262s did not fare
And
well.
we got another
It is
critical dodge.
in that game. It's going to be 11-1 on the victory points. So we'll enter that and we'll update the stats.
Another critical dodge.
I'm out.
Okay. Two disadvantages. Or no, one. This guy already.
Oh, yeah, that
got
guy.
out. So just 2. We're gonna rapid roll here. Make a maneuver attempt here.
I get 2, 3, 5 dice.
You're not outmaneuver. Okay.
So we had an outmaneuver attempt there that was stifled.
The beat feet.
All right, so we're back in, and if you're seeing it live on the stats, Aaron racked up 11 victory points. And you say 11 victory points, how does that all work out? All right, if you've looked at the tournament rules, you realize that it says victory points all go to the scenario with the most VPs awarded a win, the other a loss. So how do the VPs work? Player reaches a total number of boom chits greater than their current number of aircraft, squadron, and the squadron disengages from the fight. Squadron being defeated is 10 victory points, and each player then gets an additional 1 VP for any shoot downs that go on.
We are at the start of the next turn here. Very closely contested game between these two veterans of the Adepticon Blood Red Skies tournament. We've got an A skill here,
Oh, shoot. So
an aggressive and outmaneuver.
it was like something like very close.
Like that.
I whenever shoot, so 6 of us.
The hit, but 11 dice on the deflection. Yep.
Another hit, and we've got a deflection shot coming again, so we'll see what happens here.
Critical dodge.
And we got the critical dodge again. So that, man, it sounds like we're beating a dead horse here, but, well, not really. You know, we don't want to offend anybody with that. But, man, same thing. And we got 30 minutes remaining in game number 1.
Four, 5. 5 dice. Got a hit.
So a hit on opening shot there. We'll see what happens.
Critical dodge.
John critical dodged again. Evades the boom shit. That could have been a potential shoot down. Not only did it swing back the other way, but he didn't even accumulate the boom shit with the critical dodge. Really, really paying dividends here for John.
Shot. Another shot. Nothing.
Got a neutral 5. Got a neutral 5. We'll go first.
We're having a rapid roll trait there.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then shoot at him.
Yep.
Risk.
Aggressive from the ace, so we've got to outmaneuver and a shoot at the same time. And we got a hit. Justin's looking for the dodge. It's a deflection shot. And he does not get the critical dodge. So he did dodge, but he is going to accumulate another boom chit, which is going to make it 4 boom chits with 5 aircraft remaining.
Well, I'm going to take
Take that opening shot. I will absolutely snap roll that.
So we've got another opening shot, snap roll to a deflection shot. Got a hit. And once again, we are looking for a critical dodge here.
Boom chit.
Just gets the boom chit with the regular dodge, but avoids a shoot down, so not a terrible result, but that was an opening shot, and we'll see if Justin can turn this into something a little more meaningful that could swing this game a little bit. So we have basically the same thing from the same aircraft. We get the hit. So potential another boom chit.
Critical dodge.
And he gets the critical dodge. So he shakes the boom chit. And he stays alive.
That's your best chance because I can't deflection that thing, you know. No hit, shoot back.
No hit with the head-on shot.
Hit ya.
A hit coming back with the head-on shot. A regular dodge. That's going to accumulate Justin's 5th boom chit with 5 planes.
Let's see. That was my neutral 3s.
All right, jumping in. I've been out of it a little bit. Steve, what have I missed? I'm gonna hop inside the velvet ropes.
So we had a couple shooting attempts, a couple critical dodges, a couple hits with not dodges. So currently the score is sitting at John with 3 boom chits, Justin with 5 boom chits, and 5 aircraft. But the critical dodge really played a pivotal point with this, especially with the snap roll. So the snap roll being able to turn those good positions.
That was going to
into-
be my question. How much did snap roll play into account? And, you know, people may not remember this, but it basically is in reaction to a friendly plane being shot at from the rear. The attack's treated as if it becomes a deflection shot. So increasing your odds there, that critical dodge.
Similar to defensive tactics.
Yeah, you know, similar to defensive tactics, but without having to physically move the model. So you can still be a total jerk if he hasn't tailed you. You can go in there and you can still manage to be pointing at them. All right, so I'm going to talk to Aaron and Tyler about the first tournament round we've had with jets. Now, of course, I was the jerk that said use jets at your own peril, but it does change things, and it does change especially how advantage works out there. So for the receiving end of it, having a jet that held you down, was there any surprises?
So Luckily, we didn't really survive much after the initial merge, and that's where really the Jets excel. Played a lot of Korean War stuff, so I did a couple of demos. It's like, all right, prop planes versus Jets. I can out action economy people, but I can't recover advantage, and it just lucked out.
Yeah,
We're both about one
yeah,
shot from being disengaged.
exactly. Don't end up in that spot where you're disadvantaged. If you are, kill them quickly.
Yes, that's the only.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way to deal with that.
Okay, Tyler, what'd you see playing it on that end?
Yes. First off, shameless plug on this channel. I run a YouTube channel known as Mama Dragons Miniatures on YouTube as well. If you're a fan of TCG, i.e. Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic or stuff like that, you can find me also on Mama Dragons at TCG. But I've always enjoyed the Jets from this era. I've only actually have the ME262s. I'm running the B instead of the A version for that 4-point reduction.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to shove those airplanes anywhere in this list. You need every point you can get.
Yes, but I think the turning point really was when I lost my 3 went down to neutral. So I think I could have potentially had a better chance if my 3 had been sitting at advantage.
Yeah.
Instead of being at neutral. But no, it's really fun just to see the Jets. Funny enough, I had actually brought a second list of Lightnings.
Oh, there you go. So there.
Well, he was one shot away from beating me anyway, so.
Well, you know, and that's what I told people is that this is the first time we've put Jets in the tournament. There's going to be a little bit of learning on how do they actually play in the constraints of tournament with the way we do the board, with the way the VPs are. Because with critical dodge in there and the victory points being based on booming the other player out and then shoot downs, it changes a little bit of the dynamic of the game because we've seen at the head table where there's a lot of boom chits going around that don't count for any VPs until someone goes.
Well, if it went a little longer, I would have dived into the clouds and tried jumping out if I survived long enough.
Yeah, yeah. Any last minute thoughts?
None from me.
Yeah, and you've actually got a couple BRS streams out there on your channel. So thank you. You're like us, the guys that are still putting BRS out there, and I feel like nobody's watching any of us, but that's all right. We're gonna keep putting BRS games out there. And the joke of it all to me is the number of people we had last night at the Fur Ball. 33 plus people there. There are people that play this game, and we talk to people all the time like, oh, yeah, because you guys play it in your group every once in a while with Evan. And you guys play it on your stream, and it's just so funny that nobody wants to come out to the convention and play it. So we'll suffer through it. But I appreciate you guys doing the first round. We'll see you guys.
We had another critical hit with a critical dodge there.
Okay, clean them up.
That is the end of the turn. We're going to reset and have a little more than 15 minutes remaining in this round. So things are going to get getting down to the wire here. Looks like every table except one is still playing, which is certainly the games are definitely extending. I'm not sure if that has to do with the critical dodge or not. We had a critical hit followed by the critical dodge, and I was just commenting that a lot of the games are still playing, which in previous years, we didn't push out to that full hour and 15-minute mark.
Well, I don't know. We did, but I think we pushed out for different reasons. I think there's a lot of times we saw people down to the wire, but because it was, is what I'm fond of talking about, ponderous playing, where people are out there and they're really taking some time to think and they're really working through a larger list that has a lot of decisions. But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing a couple games that are playing out because nobody can seem to get the other squadron boomed out.
Yeah, it's it does seem like the pace of play is very good. We don't have like a lot of slow, deliberate play with a lot of pre-measuring, at least from what I'm observing, and it seems to be everything's running really smoothly so far.
Watching those D520s once again, trying to sneak in there, see what they can do. The D520 ace moving in. We're moving on the other side of the D520 ace. And there's that shot. Once again, the anemic Firepower 1. Firepower 1 not getting you anything. Okay, back over to the winter table. 109s. 109s have got 2 boom chits on them. Franks have got 4 boom chits. We'll see how everything's going. They're up on the neutral 3s at this point. I'm going to see if I can zoom in and give you a good look at the table. There's a central kind of fur ball. There's some 109s popping out of the cloud right now. Brett playing sloppy and just knocking things around. He's using, trying to figure out just how he's going to do it. He burns advantage to maneuver, make that turn, pop out of the cloud, comes out of the cloud neutral so he doesn't lose any net advantage. And then it looks like he's just going to be just trying to shoot the other guy. Uh-oh, sounds like something interesting is going on back over here. I totally missed what's going on. Oh, geez. More boom chits going down, so it's 5-5 on the chits.
30 minutes.
All right, let's see here what else. You can probably hear Mitch Reed in the background talking so loud you can hear everything he says. Mitch hanging out by our tables. All right, there's the second 109 popping out of the clouds. And they're going to try. Okay. All right, we're going to head back over here, drop the camera off.
So we are all locked up here. 5 boom chits aside, 5 aircraft aside. Both of them lost one of their skill level 2 pilots. So with exactly 15 minutes remaining, it is all knotted up here on the main table. And I mean, kind of what we would expect from these two players. The fight went out right to the end, right?
Absolutely. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good game here, which it looks like it is. 5 boom chits to 5 boom chits. You know, you don't want the top table to just be a runaway game. You want it to be a little tense, and it looks like that's exactly where we are.
Yeah, and you know the critical dodge did play a role in it, but to me it doesn't feel like it was a cheesy result of one person getting constantly lucky with the critical dodge and getting like it seemed like it was the dice have been sort of balancing themselves out, and it's just a really, really well played game by both players here.
Okay, Roman back over to table number 3. Cliffs of Dover. I would have been filming it for you all, but Mitch and his large butt were in the way.
One hit.
So it looks like the battle is still joined. We've got 2 boom chits on the P-47s, 1 boom chit on the Spitfire 5s. A little bit of defense going in.
So you still get the boom chip.
Finally, a defense that wasn't a critical. So there's now 3 on the P-47s. Oh, that's the problem with Adepticon. I'm standing up here and I can smell the food. No food break in this tournament. Not enough time. All right, Spitfires are moving into a gauge. A couple of the P-47s looks like that are out on the edge there. One of them hanging out in a cloud.
So we got a close tailing shot here that was very, very close.
Yeah, you don't say.
No, I am going to take
Yeah.
many disadvantage points in there. All right.
We got a hit.
dice.
Critical dodge.
Critical dodge. And we keep it even. Critical dodge keeps it even.
We're gonna find the spot where I can gotta go at least 3.5, right?
You gotta go at 4.
Very,
But you can
very contested, hardly contested game here. We've got another tailing going back the other way.
You just spin me 45 in. All right.
Okay.
There's a big shot coming here.
Shot is a big shot.
But as usual, I pillow.
And it was a miss.
As per usual.
And we continue with this game, all knotted up.
Neutral 3.
Of which I have none. You have 2.
All right, so the next set of results in, and Steve, does this surprise you? Brett won that game.
Oh, man, he's shaking off the rust, huh? No rust at all there from Brett. Same thing, Doug, when you were away. We're all knotted up. We had a couple tailing solutions with no boom chits accumulated on either side. We've got 10 minutes remaining in round 1.
All right, a lot of auto outmaneuvers going on in this game, so both players know how to operate those effectively. And we'll see headed back over to the other games. We got 2 games still going. All right, we got P-47s pitching back in. All right, let's see what John is doing. He was doing some outmaneuvering out there.
A lot of disadvantage aircraft on the board right now. Makes the options, tough to come by when you have this many disadvantaged aircraft.
Yeah, there's a couple disadvantaged out there, so makes it hard to figure out what you're going to do, which cards you're going to play, because you got to kind of just pitch out of the fight. And if you can't pitch out of the fight, you end up getting tailed.
Marks there. Yeah, definitely in the way. Push him all the way down.
Now, I will say, if you're watching there on the stream trying to figure out why are they laying down some of these templates, they're putting a lot of markers out there because the aircraft have become so close. They're laying markers to show where they are and be able to move the bases around. Got to say, 2 great players up here on the top table. And if you think that nobody tested these tournament rules, both these guys helped out greatly. So Justin Baumgartner spent a lot of time giving us some feedback, and so did John. They both had a chance to play through and try a few things.
All right. Red set. Oh, Chiefs. Well, he was. I just came from right here. Straight up. Yep. Don't touch that. So I'm gonna run my other rapid roll. I'm gonna put them right here.
Okay, the 3 is going there.
Yeah, 3 is gonna go there, and then
I'm assuming he's climbing.
yeah,
right?
and then he's busted.
All right, so those are all.
And then I have my 2.
So all these disadvantaged planes
Oh, yeah,
moving.
you got it.
No. Dang it.
That was a heavy flak presence roll there.
Here.
Re-rack it.
And with 6 minutes remaining, this is probably going to be our last turn of the game. I'd be surprised if we get one in after this. All the action over here on this close portion of the table.
Nobody's advantaged. Neutral five.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit here about the matchup of 109Es against Fs. You had Fs against the Franks. So how was it facing the King of Denial lists and his 109s?
Actually, I didn't have a major problem with the denial. It was the fact that with his great dive, he was getting in behind me very fast. And some of my die rolls were just, when I needed them, they just weren't there. But I'm not going to blame it on that. His maneuvering was excellent.
Excellent for you. I find that hard to believe. Brett.
Well, they do dive fast. I mean, 16 inches in that small table is not a small number, right? So.
Right. Well, yeah. So that does make a big change. Oh my gosh, looks like more dice going down. More dice on the head table. We'll see if did critical dodge play much of an effect for either one of you.
Yeah, saved him once on a critical dodge.
One time it did say.
Okay, yeah, that's been kind of the big question because on that table it has been crazy. Now, obviously they have low firepower, so they're not generating a whole lot of critical hits to remove a die and make things even less. But yeah, critical dodge has made a difference. So we'll see how things are done.
Did try to maximize the dice on my side, but they just weren't there today. So
yeah,
but the maneuvering, if I don't have myself in a bad position, I shouldn't have to be rolling that many dice. So
yeah, and I think it's interesting to see on a couple of the people that, like for the Jets, things were over right at the merge, and so there wasn't much of a chance for follow on and for critical dodge and stuff like that because it happened so fast. All right, well, any other quick takeaways from the 109 versus Franks?
Firepower 1 is not my friend, but you get what you get.
Yeah.
They don't
yeah. His maneuvering 3 is great because
absolutely, yeah, that makes a lot of difference.
Have him in a bad position. That 6 dice always came through. That 6 die came through for him.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
So, Doug, while you were gone, we had a shot come in. Justin took the lead there, inflicted another boom shit on John, and we had an outmaneuver, and we've got a deflection shot coming back, trying to get it even again. And he gets the hit. So this could be a big dodge coming up here.
And he does not. A regular dodge. Tied up.
Knots it up. It's all tied up.
6 boom chits to 6 boom chits. I don't know if you heard me on the stream. I called it Star Wars Kid versus Jar Jar Binks. I don't know who we hate more right now, but they're flailing around. Down to the last 2 minutes of the game. More critical dodges. So obviously there are people that have optimized their list for critical dodge. P47s looks like they have lost one, so I think we're going to end up shortly calling this game based on time with the Spitfires and the P47s. We'll be in favor of the Spitfires, but I don't know that anyone's boomed out. All right, in both the games, we're going to go ahead and finish the turn because there's still a little bit of shenanigans that could go on. We've obviously got with the P47s and the Spits. I think that one is a foregone conclusion, but we'll see if he gets a chance to get another boom chit and maybe be able to drive them off. Maybe he'll need 2 boom chits. I don't think he's going to be able to rack that many up, but we'll see. All right, so you know, I entrusted the top table to my 2 good friends, and they failed me. Failed me miserably.
This was a good game.
Yeah.
This was probably the best game I've ever had. This is so and I think we proved the exercise on cricket.
All right, we're gonna run out here.
It's accomplished.
All right, let's roll back here. Let's talk about it real quick while the other guys are finishing theirs up. So obviously I laughed when I looked at both your lists. Lists optimized for critical dodge. I got to throw it over to CIA agent John Dudowitz over here. What did you learn from this one?
What I learned is if you are not taking a rapid roll or a tight turn or some way to get a deflection shot, you're going to have a bad day. Critical dodge. We must have, over 15 critical dodges?
Across the 2 of us? Yeah. Over 15.
Yeah, I was watching, and it was funny because it was okay, another hit and another critical dodge, and another hit and another critical dodge. So y'all were playing a tough game. There was not a lack of hits going on. There was a lack of hits sustaining. Now there was some firepower one, so I was making fun of you guys on the stream.
Oh, yeah.
There were.
Brutal fight.
Yes, that made it even. I think had one of us been firepower 2, it might have been a bit of a different situation.
And both of y'all think it was the pilot skill 2 firepower 1 guys that got a little frustrating at some points.
Yeah, I mean, we each lost one, and it's the lower agility on my side was almost a problem for me.
Yeah. So that's good. At least it proved a lot of the points about critical dodge. It does extend the game, but it does make it a lot more interesting in some of those hairy moments. All right. Well, cool. We're going to sync up the last game, and we'll get started for the next round.
All right.